Hi everyone, here is Emilia once again, and if you're new to my channel, then welcome. Here we're all about fragrances and not just. If you're a returning visitor to my channel, then welcome back. I'm so glad to have you back. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, like this video. And as you can see from the title, in this video I'm going to cover a very taboo topic, I would say. As well, it's something that it kind of like grabbed my attention recently, given the fact that I had a few experiences recently, and I decided to do this video so that you guys can also learn from my experience, also to be careful with some points as well, to learn how to avoid or where to buy if you buy copy fragrances. And if this is something of your interest, it grabs your attention, then stay tuned. So as mentioned in this video, I'm going to talk about what's going on in the industry of fragrances. So one of the very most important aspect when buying fragrances is, of course, for all of us to give value for the money that we spend on the fragrances, as well to make sure that we buy an original fragrance for the money that we spend or invest. Nowadays, one of the biggest challenge of the industry of fragrances, it's the fact that there are a lot of counterfeit products available, and sometimes you might end up buying not knowing online. So one of the chances to buy a counterfeit product, fragrance in this case, it's by simply purchasing a fragrance from eBay. Same as it happened in my case. So I had actually purchased one, which is Carolina Herrera, good girl. So as you see from far, it looks perfectly fine. You know, you have nothing. Also, the box was looking the same, just the bottom was different. And this is the original. So original, fake. All right. So this is counterfeit. Now, we are talking about products being counterfeited at and worth billions. If, for example, as I did, I just went on Google and you just typed in, for example, the keywords counterfeit perfume worth, you will see that there are different articles, different headlines that you can read. And for example, you will see some headline in US Customs seized nearly 500,000 bottles of counterfeit perfume, mimicking top brands in recent months. This was an article in 2018. And the word of the seized fake fragrances was $31 million. So that's a huge amount. Imagine. Now, again, another big seizure of counterfeit fragrances was worth of 17,000 pounds in Southampton. So as you see, it's a global phenomenon. It's not something that it can happen in my country or in your country or just on eBay. So that's for you to know. There are also shops that you might find on Facebook marketplaces, and you might also buy from someone on Facebook, or I don't know, small shops, and they sell the fragrance as a real one. So not only you end up with a fake fragrance, but you also lose money because you invested in a fragrance. Perhaps you paid less, but you ended up buying and losing it. Now, there are also dangers with this kind of perfumes because obviously they can cause skin irritation. They might also have a large higher concentration of alcohol and. So I'm not going to go into these points at this moment, but this is something that perfume makers are trying to fight back. Also, police and so on. The justice departments are all involved in this. So and also the luxury perfume market has evolved. It has reached in 2020 somewhere a worth of 12 billion. So that's how it has grown. Now they are also targeted. And as mentioned, this is one of the risks when buying online. So I'm going to also show you again, so you know very well, I did another video in regards to how to distinguish a fake and an original fragrance that you buy. So keep in mind, when you make online shoppings of fragrances, make sure that the shop from where you're purchasing them, they're selling original ones and not fake ones. And make sure that also you run a few checks. I have pointed out a few things in my previous videos, so have a look on that. Now, moving forward, I wanted also to mention another point, which is again taboo. Now, here I have to mention that it is up to each one of us what fragrances we are wearing. So I'm not going to make it as, you know, you shouldn't wear it because I'm telling you so. It's each one of us individual decision. And here I'm talking about copies of the original brand fragrances. And the way I started digging into this more, it's simply because I ended up buying by mistake a copy. And I also mentioned this in one of my previous fragrance haul videos. And this was actually a purchase from a pharmacy here. And I was super, super amazed that one of the top fragrances is being sold in copies all over the pharmacies. So yeah, it's something that is done legally here. And it's nonetheless than Alien by Thierry Mugler. This is one of my mostly beloved, recently discovered fragrances. I absolutely love it, even though at the beginning I really, really hated it because of the opening. But once it dried down, I said it's amazing, it's wow. And I've been using it. As you can see, there's 10th here. And I started also using this one. Now, what I wanted to mention here, and it might sound like a taboo again, it's that when you're on a budget, of course, you try to buy something that smells wow, something that lasts long. And there's nothing wrong with wearing a copy. Some of us might not have the financial possibilities of allowing us to buy ourselves perfumes that cost hundreds and hundreds of dollars or euros. You might want to have a copy, and that's perfectly fine. It's there, it's available, it's sold in shops. And the only thing is to know that, you know, there are now some possibilities of buying the same fragrance at, you know, or a copy of a fragrance at much less value. Now, of course, there are risks again with copies because most of the times they will not smell 100%. And if you do own the original, you will know for sure if you're smelling the two side by side, which one is a copy and which one is an original. In my case, in this case particularly, what happens is that the fragrance remains with the opening, so it doesn't break down to that beautiful scent that the original does. So with this in mind, I decided to, since I already have it in my collection, to use it now and then, you know, when I'm not into the mood of using the original. Maybe I'm going out somewhere where I said, okay, it's not worth it to put that amount of fragrance, and I might keep this one for later on as a, you know, or maybe you want to back up. So this is how I see this. When it comes to fragrances, I don't want to say that, you know, I want to buy only the fragrances that are originals, or only the fragrances that they are branded, they are maybe niche, they are high-end, pricey ones. Yes, they are there, they're available, but I might want to buy something that it's also less pricier, because I might have occasions where I don't want to wear an expensive fragrance, yet I might want to smell expensive. So, you know, this is why I believe that, you know, perfume makers or companies that they're copying original fragrances came up with these options, because they know that there's a high interest. They know that people want to smell good. They know that there are people that they cannot afford to buy high end fragrances. They know also that it's easy target, and they know that with little money they can make also money. Now, another thing that I wanted also to cover, it's in this video, it's that dupes. So one of the dupes that I came across within these few months was actually Victoria's Secret Midnight Bloom. And because I couldn't find Ariana Grande Cloud in Cyprus, I said, you know, whatever, since I found this one, let me buy this one. So this is a dupe, and even though it's a body mist, it lasts as almost as long as Ariana Grande Cloud. So I put both of them on my hands, one as I'm holding them, that's actually how I put them. So on my left hand side, I put the body mist, and on my right hand, I put the original fragrance. And what happened is that both of them lasted very nicely on my hand from night until next day morning. Both of them, they smell the same. So, you know, it's a dupe. And in the case where you end up like in a situation like me, where I cannot get a hold of this, of Ariana Grande Cloud, let me remove it also so you see it. It's a tiny one. I found it in a 30 milliliters bottle. Then I know that I can rely on this because this is still available. Although I've seen many shops, even pharmacies, running out of it because it's being, you know, hyped up on YouTube. It's many times compared to Maison Courdijan's Baccarat Rouge. I haven't yet had the chance to smell Baccarat Rouge because in Cyprus, apparently there's one store that sells this fragrance, and I haven't yet found it, so I'm still looking for it. And once I had the chance to smell it, then I can give you an opinion and see if both of them are actually smell, or both of these two, I mean, are smelling like Baccarat Rouge or not. Moving forward here, I have another very nice fragrance that I ended up purchasing, and that's Chloe, the original one. And I was super amazed when today I was in Lidl shopping. Lidl is a store for groceries, food items, and clothes. It's a German shop that has also branch in Cyprus. And guess what I found? Chalou. So this is a fragrance that was manufactured in Germany. And what I was surprised about is that it smells exactly like Chloe. Chloe the original, I mean. So you do have that rosy scent. And if I would put side by side both of them, I would say that it's the same. It's 100% copy. Now, I don't know how much it will last because, as I mentioned, I just bought it, but I will run a test. And when I will do a separate dedicated video to Chloe, I will give you updates also about this because I would like to compare them more in depth. So again, if I'm going to make a comparison in regards to the price, I have Chalou, Suddenly Fragrances, that's the series, which I bought at €6.90. Yeah, you heard it good. So that's around $7.50, maybe $8 if you're watching me from the US. Whereas Chloe, and this is also, yeah, the 75 milliliters or 2.5 fluid ounce. So both of them, they are the same size. Even the color is the same, if you can see. And Chloe, the original, it costs in an outlet store that sells originals, so it's not copy, it's original one. It costed me €80 for the 75 ml. If I go in retail shops, it's going to hit at least €100. That's the minimum for the quantity. Now, obviously, what I'm going to do, most likely when I'm just going out, maybe shopping, maybe, you know, do something basic, wear this one. Where I'm going to go maybe for a job interview or business meetings that I have from time to time, or maybe go to the office, I'm going to wear this one because it's more expensive. Of course, if this is going to last amazingly the same hours as this one, it smells the same, I might, you know, switch between them. But let the test be done and get back to you guys. Then I have here some new discoveries, and this was again something that I discovered the previous week, and it's actually a shop that sells copies of originals, and I was super surprised, as well amazed in a positive way, because what really grabbed my attention was when I was at work, one of my colleagues was wearing actually Chloe, the original one, and I knew it's Chloe, just that it smelled a bit differently. It stand out. It was very strong. And I asked her, what are you wearing? It's like, it reminds me of something, but I don't know what is it. And she told me, it's, it's one of these cheap fragrances, but it's Chloe. It's a copy of it. And I was like, which shop? So she told me, where is it? I knew about shop. I've never purchased from them copies, but I said, since I'm doing fragrances and I want to cover everything on my channel, give you ideas, discuss everything, have open conversations, discussions, and share ideas with you. I said, I'm going in, I'm going to grab one bottle. Then I ended up grabbing more and more and more. So I ended up purchasing quite a few, and I'm not going to go into the notes. However, what I will mention are a few points, and I hope it will help you. So I have here one of the fragrances that I took. I smelled their Chloe, and it smells exactly the same. I had smelled it also at my workplace on my colleague, and I was like, that's Chloe, just that it was much stronger on her. So the lasting power, I've noticed it was stronger than on the original one. So that was my first, you know, shock point. And I have here, this is basically the company, it's Perfume. I'm not sure if you might find them in the US. As I know, they're based in Cyprus, and these bottles are 50 milliliters, and the prices usually are for one bottle 10 euros. Yes, 10 euros. And really, I was amazed by the fact that they last so long. They're powerful, and they're exact copies. So I bought few of them because I smell them side by side. So the stores also has the options to purchase from them directly the originals, but also the copies. So they're opposite to each other. So you have the chance to smell both of them. And that's what I did. So I ended up smelling at least like 6, 7 fragrances, putting them on myself. So I was like, phew, I think like a skunks, because I ended up with so many fragrances on my skin and headache at the end of the day. But put that aside, I went back also again and I bought more. So sometimes when I have some fragrances that I'm not sure about, I prefer to test them. Obviously, if I don't have the options to test them, this just came in the right time, because it gives me the opportunity to test them, because I know they smell the same. I know it's a copy, but at least I'm not going to throw out 70 to 100 euros on a fragrance that I might not want to use, I might not like. Like one of the fragrances that I've never liked was Black Opium. So even though I like Yves Saint Laurent, I cannot understand the hype from Black Opium. And that's me, that's my opinion. I'm happy for people that they're wearing it. I'm happy for women, hyping it up, but it's not a fragrance that's for me. I cannot. I do like from Yves Saint Laurent, Libre. That's my favorite. That's my cup of tea. Then what I decided to do, because I like to give chances to the fragrances as well, and I'm doing reviews as well, I decided that, yes, I'm going to buy a copy and I'm going to test it. And if I like it, obviously I will purchase the original. Now, what's really interesting about them is that this is Yves Saint Laurent Black Opium. So basically, they will tell you what ingredients they have, and they will tell you also the name. So they have shortenings. So you have Yves Saint Laurent, so, and then BL, for black, OP for opium. That's how you can distinguish. And it has that strong coffee, like it's distinguishable. I mean, I have a very good friend of mine. She gave me once a bottle. I couldn't go through it, so I had to give it away. Now I said I'll test it. If I'm really happy with it, I will go for the original one. Then I have here Tom Ford. They even have Tom Ford. And this is Tobacco Vanille. And to be honest, this is a fragrance that's very pricey in Cyprus. So in retail stores, it's above 170 euros. So that's around $119, maybe more. And depending from where you're buying it, you might even pay 200 something euros. Obviously, I'm not going to pay for a fragrance that has tobacco in it, that amount. And I'm really happy that at least I had the chance to smell the original and have a copy of it. And it's a fragrance that it's, for me, still hard to chew on because it has tobacco. And imagine not that stinky tobacco, but when you are smoking and then that smoke from the cigarettes and tobacco stays in your clothes. So imagine that compared to this fragrance, plus add to that the sweetness of the vanilla. So that's what this for me is. And I will see how it goes. Again, if it's something that really will grow on me, I'll fall in love with it, I might invest, collect the money for it. Then they even have, and this is really something that I really love. If you have watched my previous videos, you know that I don't like the original Angel from Thierry Mugler. I'm an alien girl and I'm also an aura girl. So when I smelled Angel, the original one, the blue star shaped fragrance, I said, that's not for me. It's heavy on patchouli. It's patchouli. There's nothing else that comes out and stays on my skin. So when I went to a previous shopping store of course, for fragrances, I found the newest version, which is the Angel Nova, so the red bottle. And I was amazed, I was blown away. And this has the same strength to it. And absolutely love it. It's a fragrance that was actually released in 2020. And it smells exactly the same. And I'm really happy because what I want to do is to test it first. And of course, it's something that I really love. I will go for it and buy, obviously, the original one. That's at retail price somewhere around 80-90 euros. And again, this is something that's very strong. You don't have to put a lot. And, it's something that will give you compliments. It's something that will turn heads around. And so far, I'm going to tell you with one of the fragrances what happened today. And then you will say that, no way, it can happen with a copy. I have here also other fragrances, copies. I have also Chanel Mademoiselle, which is very soapy on me. And this is the same. It goes very dry to a soapy one. I like it. So once I'm done with this, I'm through this box. I will go and buy the original one. Then I have here also Dior Addict. Well, that's a fragrance for winter, autumn, and it's not something that I have yet purchased. I have it on my wish list. So for the coming fall, winter, I will be able to have it in my collections and enjoy it. But for now, I have a copy of it. Then another fragrance that's really for a long time on my wish list and I cannot find it in stores, it's Manifesto. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's, again, very feminine, very sexy fragrance. And at least I managed to buy and find a copy. I have tried to order from different stores here, and they're waiting for the items to arrive, but they don't know when. So for now, I have this. Then they also have Dior's Hypnos, Hypnotic Poison. Sorry, it has the HP. Keep in mind, there are different flankers. The original one, it's Poison, which is a classic one. It's very strong. It's discontinued, as I know, and you may still find in outlet stores the original ones. The Hypnotic Poison has been few times reformulated, and the reason why I didn't purchase it recently is because it's the reformulated version. So I tried to find the older versions, which I really enjoyed, and the copy reminds me of that. It stands out, the vanilla, the sweetness, the fruitiness, the balsamic and almondy, these nutty notes. And because I tested myself here earlier so that I can give you a better description. Yes, so if someone would pass by you and you would wear this fragrance, they would say you're wearing Hypnotic Poison by Dior. They wouldn't say it's a copy. That's how good these ones they are. And then I have also Viktor and Rolf's Flower Bomb. This is again a very good copy. So all I have to say is that they have done a great job. And you know, I'm happy that at least some people have the opportunity to go and buy fragrances that, you know, are well known but at much lower price. Then I also have Chanel's Chance Tendre, or Tendre, so TE. And this is the original one that I have. And if you put them side by side, you say again that they are the same. The only thing here for me is that the original, because I have the Eau de Toilette, I didn't buy the Eau de Parfum. The difference is that this one, even though it's Chanel, it lasts less than the copy. So once I'm gone through this bottle, I will go for the Eau de Parfum. I know that there's a difference in the notes. It's more rosy than the Eau de Toilette. However, I want to have Chanel in my collection, so that will go for it. And the last fragrance that I have, we have here Donna by Trisarti. So again, that's a fragrance that's around 70 euros for the 50 ml in retail stores. And I tried to buy it from an outlet store, from where I ended up purchasing a majority of my fragrances nowadays. And they're waiting for the shipment. They know me, that I've been waiting for it. So I hope by the end of this month to have it. But I know the fragrance very well. I've tested it. I have testers. I went in the shops, in stores a few times. And this is perfect until mine one will arrive, hopefully soon. And there was one very funny point that I wanted to mention. And that's basically I had Gucci Bloom in this one, so the copy again, and I had to overspray it a bit because I couldn't feel it today. I went through recently COVID, so a bit my nose has changed, but nonetheless I'm still here. I can still smell the fragrances. So the only issue is that I tend to overspray my fragrances, but hopefully this will calm down. And what happened is, when I was at work today, they were asking me, what are you wearing? And imagine, I don't get compliments on expensive fragrances. Expensive, I'm meaning hundreds euros, but I got a compliment on a fragrance that I purchased with 7 euros. Now that, tell me. And another thing, if you're in Cyprus and you know the brand, you want to purchase them, I can only tell you go for it. If you're into copies, if you want to buy copies, go for it. There's nothing wrong. I don't see it as a wrong. Obviously, the brands, they have to suffer because they end up with financial loss because less purchases, obviously, due to the copies. But again, I'm no one to tell you how to spend your money on what fragrances. It's your choice. It's my choice, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I respect that. And as mentioned, it's an open discussion. I do like fragrances. I'm not going to say don't buy that fragrance because I don't like it. Don't go for it because it's a copy. Um, I just want to make you aware of what's going on. I want to give you also a few points to consider when purchasing copies. Obviously, there are copies that they are going to be different. This brand particularly here, they're doing a good job, but there are others that they're not. So you have to consider that. Another thing that I want to point out is, you know, the ethical question. I mean, do you like to wear copies or do you want to wear originals? And are you okay with wearing original or are you okay with wearing copies? So which one you want? And another point here that I would consider is when people will ask you, what are you wearing? Are you going to tell them I'm wearing a copy or are you going to tell them I'm wearing the original? Obviously, you can just say I'm wearing XYZ, the name, and leave it like that. And obviously, if you want to be honest with someone and they ask you from where you buy it and so on, which I do, I don't mind because at at work people know what I'm doing. They know that I'm into fragrances. They know that I'm doing researches. I'm learning, and at the same time, I'm sharing with people that they're interested in this niche, in this world of fragrances. I also want to share with them my experience. I want to share them my opinion, the options, the things that I've seen. So I do hope that this video was really, really helpful for you. And it's something that will make you think about fragrances from a different perspective. Maybe I pointed out something that you were unaware of. And just let me know in the comments below what do you think about this topic. And if you would like something more in depth, perhaps you want to know more, just let me know. And I would be really, really happy to know what other topics might be of your interest. And don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. And till next time, thank you so much for supporting me and being on my channel. Doodles.